Okay, so as you can see, I've pulled this out and I've replaced it with a drill chuck. Same exact procedure. We're using the torque wrench to be able to put that in there. And then of course I've loaded in the very first tool that we're going to use for any drilling operation, and that is the center drill right there. Okay, and how we tighten this up is this right here being a keyless chuck. You just kind of snug it up with your hands here as if you're tightening a bolt, and the reverse is true for getting it out, which you're going to see. All right, so at this point you should be able to see my screen somewhat. It's kind of hard to read it out here, but remember in the last video or previous video, we went ahead and we figured out where the 0 was, which was here and here. And then when we look at our part, it's very simple to see that, oh, okay, well, this is 469, this is this. We know that 375 was supposed to be the middle. So I'll tell you what, let's just start with that. And then we're going to go ahead and crank our Y to 0.375, which is actually negative 0.375 because of the way the movement is. All right, and we have achieved that right there. So we know we're in the center of the part at this point. Now we just need to get to hole number 3, and that's 1.781. So I'm going to go ahead and crank this until it's positive 1.781. 1.781. Okay, so that right there represents the location of our next hole, and we're going to go ahead and center drill that. So I'm going to move this out of the way so I can get in here and work with it. Remember, we have lubrication right here that we're going to put on that. And then, of course, there is the calculation that I had done for that RPM. Click it on high range. We're going to go ahead and make our adjustment here. And looks like our quill stop is in the way. That's no problem. We're going to go ahead and pull that out of the way. And make some adjustments to our handle here. And we're going to go ahead and mark that. And remember, we don't want to go full diameter. We want to go up to it, make sure there's a taper. Okay. So we can go ahead and turn that off. We can wipe that off there. And if we need to check, it's always a good idea to take your calipers and go from the edge to the hole. Make sure that you're right where you're supposed to be, and then likewise from this side to that side. And a good indicator too that you're right where you need to be is the scribe line. The hole should actually be right on that center scribe line. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and crack that loose and get it out of the way. I'm going to keep it close because I'm going to need it for every other hole that we're going to do. All right. I don't need my edge finder, however, so I'm going to go ahead and move that out of the way. And now we're going to go ahead to our 11/32 drill bit, as called out for on the drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Sometimes I like to put that in low range and really tighten it down. And make sure I get it back into high. I'm a little tight on clearance here, so I'm going to go ahead and allow this knee to come down to allow for a little bit more clearance there. And I'm always going to push down to kind of bring it back up so that it's setting on the right part of the screw that is jacking up that, that knee. So now that I have this, I'm going to reposition where my handle is, and I'm going to go back to turning this on. I'm going to give a little bit of lubrication down there on my part, and I'm going to do the drilling. Now we've already talked through the drilling and extents, or through to a certain extent, so I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that. But again, just doing a drill, doing a chip breaker, and then also keeping some moderate pressure there. You can already tell that this seems to sound a little bit different than the last time we did this, and the reason being is because there's so much more rigidity. Nothing's moving or vibrating nearly as much as what it is on a one of those basic drill presses. So we're going to go ahead and get through this. Again, we're going to feel the bottom, we're going to hear it, and we're going to back off just a little bit. Make sure that that hole goes all the way through. We're going to turn this off. We're going to go ahead and stop that. And what we're going to do is find our chip brush, and we're going to use that to go ahead and get the chips off there. So a quick visual inspection. Okay, my hole's going all the way through, and I've created hole number 3.